This is Illyrian Brotherhood, here on episode 2 of my series Debunking the Pseudo-History. This is entitled Greece, the People Without History. So haha, you have all been clickbaited. This is very funny to me because in the clickbait title thumbnail it says Albanian people are indigenous people of Greece. But you know this term indigenous, it does not very work apply to when we think of the European history. It more work apply to when we think of the Red Indians in the US of A. But you know, the reason for this is I'm not saying that Greeks were there before Albanians, because we know Albanians were there first. What I am saying is before these Albanian Illyrian people even get there, when we think of the history of Europe and Illyrian Peninsula, first people there, hunter-gatherer people, Ice Age time, Neanderthal, but you know, then there's gone to a period called Mesolithic period of hunter-gatherer. Okay? And in what is today the illegitimate state of Serbia, there is very nice site called Lepenski Vir, very good Mesolithic site, very beautiful site, beautiful people, and as you can see at this point in time in the world, all people seem to have been Red Indians. Okay, but after this Red Indian period, we go into what is called the Neolithic, where people begin to grow grass to make bread and beer and good things of that nature. Okay, so this is why when I say is that you cannot even call one group the indigenous people of there, because who are they at this point? They are all dead. They are all dead. Whoever is there now, they took place of people there before. It's very simple mathematical explanation, you know. So here's where things get interesting. So what we know is that the Albanian Illyrian people were in this peninsula, the Illyrian Peninsula. I don't want anyone to be referring to this peninsula as Balkan Peninsula. That is a false name imposed by Western imperial power. But you see this picture, this is what I'm doing my thesis on in Albanian University actually, is that in biblical time, when God destroyed the city Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, it says everyone inside died. But what about those scoundrels that went into the desert and do their bad things to each other? You know, it is basically like biblical Burning Man. You know, they have this big desert. You know what they do? They do bad things, very not good. So basically what I am proposing is that these people who did not die in Sodom and Gomorrah, these Sodomites, what they did, they come back to city gone. Where they go? They go to Illyrian Peninsula. This is why the modern and ancient Greek people were so fond of sodomy. Does this not make all the sense in the world, my friends? These ancient Greek people, they love sodomy. They love sodomy so much. That is why they are sometimes referred to sodomites. You know, this is how those types of people are. That is not how Albanians are. This is what separates us from them. Okay, so prior to the arrival of these Sodomites to the Illyrian Peninsula, the south part of Illyrian Peninsula, where these Greek people live today, there was the people called the Pelasgi. And the Pelasgoi were the pre-inhabitants who were in fact displaced by the Sodomite Greek people. And you know, the Pelasgoi, they went north to what is now Albania, Croatia, and what is called Macedonia. But they did not want to be near the Sodomite. You know, I'm not sure if AIDS existed back then, but if it did, it was definitely with these Sodomites in Greek. You know what they do? Very bad stuff. Okay, and this idea was first proposed by the ingenious, famous philologist John Georg von Hahn. He was from country Austria, and he identified clear Albanian excellence. Okay, he saw, when he looked at the Sodomite Greek people, he knew they could not have come up with these rich culture on their own. He knew that the Pelasgi were in fact Illyrian Albanian people, and they had culture that was given to the Sodomite Greeks. They did not come with culture. They did not come with history. They were ascribed it and learned it from these great ancient Albanian Illyrian people. And I tell you, this is the truth, my friend. Once my thesis is published, I will shock the world. All the Greeks were there in mid-sodomy, they probably will kill themselves, my friend. And this would bring me to a story from my youth. When I was a child, my grandmother said, "I don't care what they tell you in school. Alexander the Great was Albanian." And then I laughed because we have such a good school system in Albania. Of course I knew this. Every Albanian school child knows Alexander the Great was Albanian, and the dirty Sodomite Greeks are dirty, lying people. But I have nothing against these Greeks people. Nothing against them personally. I like the tzatziki sauce. I like kebab. And it is good. Okay. Good night, YouTubes. Thanks you for the support. Here's a picture of beautiful Illyrian Albania artist Dua Lipa. Very beautiful Albanian specimen. And I leave you with this photo. You can do with whatever you want. I will not judge you. Nor is this video necessarily to judge those Sodomite Greeks. But you know how it is. Good night.